Well, we thought last summer's transfers was an anticlimax. Goodness me. I'm just still laughing about it. I've just finished recording the video that came out yesterday. We're going into a Champions League season with basically the same squad as last year, which we all acknowledge wasn't big enough. This is going to be messy. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 18 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the first two games of the Bundesliga season against Hanover and Fortuna Dusseldorf, and also sandwiched between the two of them, I think we also have the Champions League draw, so we get to find out who we're going to be playing in the group stages of the Champions League as well. For those of you who missed the transfer special yesterday, special is probably the wrong word to use for it. We've extended some loans and brought in some new loans. All defenders. Emmanuel and Butgerite were both here last year. Schuster you're familiar with from both Fulham and Hamburg a year ago. We've paid £8 million to loan him for the year. And also we've got a backup player who can play right back and centre back. Other than that, it is the same squad. We've got a little bit of money left. What have we got? About £8 million, £7 million, loads of wage budget. So actually, if we say, well, we're not going to spend more than like 60 grand on wages, we've potentially got maybe up to £10 million to spend probably. We can't find a player. We want an attacking player of some description. We'll hopefully find one of those during this episode as well. But let's not worry about any transfer stuff or any Champions League stuff for now. Let's focus on getting some league points on the board to open up the season. We're at home against Hanover, and this is the team that we're putting out there. We've got Mayer in goal, a back four of Friedel, Emmanuel, Schuster and Butgerite, with Janicic and Mori in midfield, Okafor, Matthews and Chapman as our attacking midfield three, and Liam Thorne up front. Vital suspended for this game, presumably. Did he get sent off on the last day of the season? Or maybe he got to his yellow card limit on the last day of the season. Either way, he's suspended for this match. So Tashreeq Matthews comes in. He's one of those players where if there'd have been a better attacking midfielder appear over the summer, we might have replaced Matthews. But I'm not really into replacing players in the squad at the moment. My thinking is more along the lines of we don't have a backup left winger. If we get an injury to Okafor, we're playing Kanoni out there or Kapshak, because that's all we've got. We don't have a backup left winger. Rocky can theoretically play there, but Rocky's been one of the worst signings in the history of the save. Janicic has just scored after 5 minutes. Oh, let's not worry about it. Like I said, forget transfers. Let's just win this game. We had an absolutely incredible performance in the cup game that we had in the last episode, just getting over 50 shots with no shots from the opposition in reply. So if nothing else, we're in form. Obviously, our last two league games, we beat the best two teams in the Bundesliga on last season's league positions. So we're a team in form, and hopefully we can carry that form as long as possible. They've gone down to 10 men after 6 minutes. This could be I mentioned the season could be messy. This could be getting messy for Hanover because we're 2-0 up already and they're down to 10 men. Liam Thorne with his second of the season. Weird that that's not gone down as an own goal. I've seen stuff like that go down as own goals many times before, but Thorne, he's claiming it. He's got it. We're 2-0 up. And we could probably take the foot off the gas a little bit at this point because Hanover are done already. Down to 10 men. We're already 2-0 up. We're controlling the match. We're having all the shots, having all the possession. It would be nice to if we can grab a third, I might start resting some players. I know it's the first day of the season, but it's going to be a long old season for these players with Champions League in there as well. We're going to play a lot of games. Right, Friedel, over to Mori. Mori out to Butgerite. Butgerite into Chapman, who just faints away from his marker like he's not there. Cross comes in from Butgerite. It's too far for Okafor, but he collects it, plays it into Janicic, and now Friedel in a crossing position, but cuts it into Mori. Mori back out to Friedel again. Look at this possession football we've got going on at the moment. Friedel keeps hold of it to Janicic, who sprays it out wide to Butgerite, who crosses. Okafor is there, and it's 3-0 to Hamburg. 24 minutes on the clock, and I know we're playing against 10 men, but we look very, very good at the moment. Imagine if we could keep this form up all season. I almost want to withdraw from the Champions League because I genuinely think if we didn't have the distraction and the extra games of the Champions League this season, I think this squad, with nothing else going on, could win the Bundesliga. We showed in the second half of last season just how good we're capable of being, but I don't think we're going to be in the running with the Champions League games in there as well. Unless, of course, we get completely outclassed, knocked out in the group stages, then it's only an extra 6 games. We could play the reserves for an extra 6 games and go and win the Bundesliga. I don't know what looks better on my CV. A Champions League knockout round with Hamburg or a Bundesliga, probably a Bundesliga win. Okafor's just made it 4-0 before half-time. My word, we're a good team sometimes. When we're playing against the right opposition and they're down to 10 men and we're in form, we look like a very good team. It's a lovely header from Okafor as well. I mentioned I wanted a backup striker, but really, if something happened to Thorn, I guess Okafor is my backup striker. The only problem is we still don't have a backup left winger. I think the priority for this £7 to £10 million we've got knocking around, if we can find one, is to bring in some competition on the left wing. The problem is that such a player in our price range doesn't seem to exist. We've been on the lookout for him probably for about a month or so, ever since we finished signing defenders and stopped worrying about that end of the pitch. The full focus has been on wingers, because I wouldn't be averse to bringing in a right winger as well if we could bring in 2, but I think we've probably only got the budget for 1 player, and I think that 1 player needs to be a left winger. It's the big gaping hole in the squad, and it's what we're going to try. What a goal from Butgerite! My word! That's a teenage right back on loan, I think, from Stuttgart. So not good enough to play for Stuttgart, but will be playing in the Champions League for us this season. And has just scored an absolute worldie. Look at the state of that. 5-0 up after an hour. And I don't care that we're playing against 10 men. That goal from Butgerite, it doesn't matter how many players Hanover have got. They could have 9, they could have 15. That goal goes in. That was an absolute superb strike. Right, let's start looking at the fitness of some of these players. They're all fit. They've all played a pre-season. Matthews is the one, but it's match fitness that's a thing for Matthews, so I guess he stays on to earn some match fitness. We're going to take off Chaton and bring on Rocky. What else can we do? We may as well just make a triple substitution now. The game is pretty much won. Should we bring on Mariani to have a look at him? He can come on for Emmanuel. And then for our final change, we'll bring on Cannoni for Thorn. We'll have a look at Cannoni. Cannoni got 2 goals in the cup game, playing as an inside forward on the left-hand side. Came on for Okafor and looked sharp. So if Cannoni can prove that he's the player I thought he was last season, or the start of last season, rather than the player he proved himself to be last season, then I'm less worried about wanting to bring in a player, because Cannoni can play up front and on either wing. We're winning 6-0, by the way. This is back-to-back 6-0 wins in all competitions in competitive football this season. 2 games played, 12 goals scored, 0 goals conceded. I know we played against a lower league team and a team that spent almost the entire match down to 10 men, but we've all played against 10 men plenty of times and not won 6-0. This is insane. And we're still attacking. We've had 28 shots in a Bundesliga game. I am very much enjoying managing Hamburg at the moment. If you haven't yet bought yourself a Kev Told Me So t-shirt, link is down in the description. Kev told you so. Show me this is more fun. This is less fun than Fulham, because it isn't. I'm having the time of my life. We would not be competing in the Champions League, competing for league titles if we'd have stayed at Fulham. But here at Hamburg, I don't know. Now we're here for another season. We might even win a Bundesliga. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting so excited. I want to score a 7th. Oh, we've conceded a goal. That's ruined everything. I liked our perfect record. It's been ruined now by Simone Palombi, who's scored against us. I guess we've just got a little bit complacent there, because who cares? Who really cares? It doesn't matter if we win 6-0 or 6-5, as long as we win, ultimately. We're going to try and grab a 7th, aren't we? Friedel with the throw-in, and now with the chance to cross, plays it into Janicic, who's on a hat-trick. Murray not playing at centre-back, so obviously he's not going to score. Butgerite, again from range. Rocky on the rebound. Butgerite has just hit the post from a similar range to what he scored from early on, as he just decided to add brilliant attacking player to his repertoire this season. He was a solid right back last year, but in that match he's got 1 screamer of a goal, 2 assists. Butgerite's the new Lazarov, boys and girls. Right, we've got to passionately say that was just superb. Do that again another 33 times and we win the league. Easy peasy. Right, we've got Fortuna Dusseldorf next, but I think before that happens, we've got the Champions League draw and maybe a transfer. Here we go then, Champions League group stage draw. We're 4th seeds. I guess we couldn't really expect any more than that, but it's going to be terrifying. Let's get the first... I guess we get most of the draw out of the way, and then worry about the groups when we get to. Oh my word! Look at the state of this. Is there any group that we'd want to be in? Oh my goodness! There's some good teams in Europe, aren't there? Who'd have thought? Oh, I mean, we can't go in that one. That one looked doable. Maybe this one. I don't know how good Marseille and Milan are at the moment. Man City obviously would destroy us, but that one might be doable. We can't go in that one because of that. I was looking at Anderlecht thinking we could take Anderlecht. Oh my goodness. There isn't a group I think we can get out of there. Let's see who we've got. Paris Saint-Germain, Atletico Madrid, Shakhtar. We should be able to get past Shakhtar. But Paris Saint-Germain and Atletico Madrid, we're getting knocked out in the group stage. I guess that means we can focus on the Bundesliga. Oh, it hasn't told us yet when we're playing those games. Let's have a look to see which ones we've got first, because then we can work out how we're going to structure the episodes for the rest of the season, I guess. We have been handed a tough draw. I agree. Schedule. Right. Oh my goodness. Do we show you Atletico? I guess we have to show you that one. It's our first game in the Champions League in the whole series. So we'll not do much of a gap between the two episodes. We'll be back tomorrow with Atletico. We're still going to do one more game today. I'm not saying goodbye, but tomorrow we'll do Atletico and then see how the rest of the Champions League takes shape, I guess. Look at that for 3 or even 5 consecutive matches. November looks like a horrible month. Feel a bit ill looking forward at this season now. Just remind us that we just won 6-1. Let's just breathe that in. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're good. We'll be fine. Just the one change for the Fortuna Dusseldorf game then. Vital is no longer suspended and able to return to the team. So Matthews drops back down to the bench. Let's get into the game. And I'd like to score 6 goals again. I've got a taste for it now. I've been sat here this morning, played 2 games this morning, scored 6 goals twice this morning. That's what we want to be doing. So let's assertively say, carry on where we left off, which was free scoring, attacking deliciousness, I think is the official technical term for what we've done in the last couple of matches, especially now we've got the super attacking Butkerite at right back. Murray, free kick. It's the inside of the post and bounces clear. We've just turned down a £20 million offer from Bayern Munich for Murray, which it's ironic really because he's 27, so it's not like he's a youngster who's exploded in ability, but he has done a bit of a Mick Powell, for those of you who watch It's Coming Home and know what I'm talking about, because in our first season here we signed Vandenberg on loan from Bayern Munich to play as our holding midfielder in our 4-3-3 because I didn't think Murray was good enough. Last season, we started with Rodriguez and Janicic as our midfield because I didn't think Murray could play in midfield. He's forced his way into the team over the course of last season. One of the first names on the team sheet now. He's an absolute superstar for us. And now Bayern Munich want him, presumably to play instead of Vandenberg. Thorne has just put us 1-0 up after 23 minutes. His 3rd goal of the season. Liam Thorne still never had an England call-up. There's still no justice in the world. He's tearing the Bundesliga apart again this season. It's a lovely pass from Okafor. Great movement from Thorne. And just thumps it into that far corner because he's a superstar. Thorne is the total package. He's a giant. He's good in the air. He's quick. He's got good movement. He can shoot like that. How is he not England's regular starting striker? I do not understand football at all. But yeah, we turned down that move. Oh, good in the air, he says. We turned down that move from Bayern Munich for Murray. We still haven't been able to identify a player we want to bring in. So I'm starting to think there's probably not going to be a transfer unless we get an absolute miracle scout report appear between between this match and the end of the transfer window, which of course you'll find out on tomorrow's video, then I think we're probably going to have to make do with what we've got, which is fine if they stay fit. But is a worry, obviously, if we start to pick up some injuries. I mean, if we lost Okafor and Thorne, for example, I don't see how we'd score any goals anymore. So it's a concern if we can't bring in that left. Basically, we want a left winger / striker who's good at both. We want Thierry Henry. If we could bring in Thierry Henry, for example, that would work for me. I think he's the exact player we need to finish off this squad. Can cover for Okafor and Thorne. And, I mean, he might even break his way into the team properly. Who knows? This is a little bit sloppy defensively here. Talking of defensively, Gomez, who we had on loan last season, is now heading out on loan again. So all three of the defenders that we had on loan last year, who we were told couldn't come out on loan again, we've got two of them back. We've replaced one of them with Schuster. We could have had Gomez as well if we'd have been patient, but he's going out on loan somewhere else. So I did look at him, but I didn't want to spend the last of my transfer budget bringing in another defender on loan, because it's not an area of the team we really need to strengthen now. We need to focus on what we've got in more attacking positions. Okafor, I'm going to take Okafor off and put Cannoni on that left wing. Just as part of my ongoing experiment to decide if Cannoni is my Thierry Henry. Is he my man who can play as a backup in both of those positions? That's what I'm looking for. Janicic can come off for Rodriguez as our final substitution. And shall we have a bit of passion for the last 10 minutes, lads? I mean, I know it's an away game and we always budget for draws in our away games. It's fine, but we should be better than Fortuna Dusseldorf. I'd like to think we could find a way to drag a win out of this game in these last 5 minutes or so. It's with Schuster. Schuster doesn't know what's hit him. The last time he was at Hamburg, we were battling against relegation. He's come back a year after he left, and suddenly we're in the Champions League, and he's very confused about it. Butgerite, poor header, aiming for Murray, but it's intercepted. Dusseldorf have been the better team in this second half. It's some good closing down there from both Thorne and I think Cannoni. But like I said, they've been the better team in this second half. You can't say they haven't deserved it. Yes, we've had 64% of the possession and we have had more of the shots as well. But certainly in this last half hour or so, they've been the better team. I know people have said to me before, Kev, it's because you took off your star player. We took off Okafor. We've weakened the team. And it's something to do with how the Football Manager match engine algorithm works. We've weakened the team to the point where it's made the defence worse, even though we took off a winger. Is that counted as a goal? Are we going to the little telly? I think we're going to the little telly. It was disallowed. Schuster offside, apparently. Last chance here. Murray with the free kick. Emmanuel nods across. It's cleared off the line. Schuster's offside again. He's not allowed to go forward for free kicks anymore if he's going to be offside all the time. Murray now, big deep cross looking for Cannoni, but we've messed this one up a little bit. Perhaps we're not going to win the Bundesliga. After all the form we've been in recently, we've been done over by Fortuna Dusseldorf there. I think we're already afraid of the Champions League draw, and it's messed us up in the league. Aggressively, not happy. Hopefully not a sign of things to come. We are going to be keeping an eye on the job centre over the course of the season. And we'll see you tomorrow for Atletico Madrid. Oh my God. It's making me cough with sadness. Oh, if you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.